No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for Friday, April 7th, 2023. Smackdown was in Portland, Oregon, my old stomping grounds, coming off WrestleMania and a not so well received edition of Monday Night Raw. Shout out to everybody in the chat room for tuning in early. Tic Tat Tat, Michael Wayne, Walter Cruz, Mohammed, Luis, Claude, Ryan. Thank you all for tuning in early. Now, let's get to this recap. We started with a WrestleMania video package, and then we had a match. We had the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Pete Dunne, a.k.a. Butch, and Ridge Holland, Ridge the Fridge, versus Imperium. Gunther and Sheamus exchanged some words right off the bat, and the referee was dealing with them. Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci took advantage of the situation. Gunther worked over Butch for a while, but Butch used the old joint manipulation trick, snapped the fingers. Gunther tagged out. Ridge Holland got the hot tag, used his power. Imperium, though, managed to triple team Holland, and Gunther took a cheap shot at Sheamus with a big boot, powerbombed Holland, but Butch broke up the pin, and then Gunther applied the Boston Crab to Holland. Holland somehow managed to tag in Sheamus. Sheamus with the 10 beats. White noise to Gunther, but Gunther kicked out, and then Vinci tagged back in. Things broke down. Sheamus hit the bro kick and got the 1-2-3 victory. I agree with Benjamin. Samantha Irvin does a tremendous job when she announces Imperium. She's just great, period. This match, I feel like this match was longer than the combined time of wrestling on Raw. I kid you not. This match was better than any match on Raw. I will say that much. Really entertaining match. And if you want a good show, just throw these guys out there because they always deliver. Fun way to open up the show. And it looks like Sheamus is perhaps not done with Gunther. Maybe one more match. Maybe Sheamus will finally get the title at some point. But the question is when. I know it's still a while until Gunther can break the Honky Tonk Man's record, but people really want to see Sheamus get that title. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2.71 super chat with the comment, Endeavor's first Smackdown. Indeed, this was the first Smackdown of the Endeavor era. Was it better than Raw? Well, the beginning for sure was, and we'll get to the rest of the show here in just a moment. We had some footage shown from Raw with Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of Cody Rhodes. We had Caleb Braxton talking to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman declined to comment on the Brock Lesnar attack on Cody. Heyman wanted to discuss the Bloodline, how they main evented both nights of WrestleMania thanks to Roman Reigns, and now Roman is close to 1,000 days, but then Jey Uso showed up and wanted to know where Jimmy was. Paul Heyman said that Roman requested that Jimmy stay home. Roman wants Jey Uso to beat Sami Zayn all by himself and solve the Sami Zayn problem. When Jey took his leave, Heyman told Solo Sikoa that either Jey Uso solves the Sami Zayn problem or Solo solves the problems, plural. So the plot thickens here with Jey Uso and the Bloodline, and there's more, so stay tuned. We had Ricochet versus Ivar. Pretty good big man, little man match here. Ricochet was taking the fight right to Ivar, drop kicked him out of the ring, went for a dive but got caught. Ivar used his power, sent Ricochet into the apron, and then came in with a running cross body right into the apron. And then back in the ring, Ricochet kept fighting, tried to lift Ivar but couldn't, got hit with a spin kick, but he kicked out. Then Ivar got on the top. Ricochet managed to deliver a Hurricane Rana and then climbed up the top, shooting star press, got the 1-2-3 victory. Good solid match here. And how do you know that Triple H still has control, or at least what will make fans think Triple H has control still? Ricochet picks up a clean win here. We all know in the Vince era, Ricochet was more or less enhancement talent. So when Ricochet gets a good showing and actually wins, I mean, I think that can give us a little bit of hope, right? Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Says, if the Usos don't win the belts back, are they going to be kicked out of the Bloodline? Well, that remains to be seen. That's the big question mark. Will Roman Reigns hold that against them? Will he hang it over their head that they must win the titles back, or they will no longer be on the island of relevancy? That remains to be seen, and that will certainly be an interesting development. We'll see if that plays out over the next couple of months. We have to wait and see what Roman Reigns says. And until then, we're just going to have to witness it as it is with Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and the Usos. Roman might be gone for a while. That's at least what the internet rumor is, that he's going to be taking some time off. We had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn backstage, and Owens said that Sami Zayn can beat Jey Uso and they can finally move on from the Usos. But Sami said that something felt off about the match and he wanted to go talk to Jey Uso. Felt that it was a sense of obligation, but Owens felt that that was a bad idea. Sami Zayn was insistent, said that he needed to. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $3 super chat. Thank you for that, Caleb. Says, Endeavor has majority stock. They have the final say. Well, at the end of the day, Vince is running the wrestling part of this new company, and Vince is the one that's going to have the final say when it comes to creative in WWE. But yes, as far as business dealings go, Endeavor is going to certainly have the top say when it comes to business transactions and that sort of thing. We had Natalya and Shotzi going up against Raquel and Liv Morgan. I would say this was the weakest match of the night. Pretty much just a showcase match for Raquel and Liv. They're getting the title match, which is fine. You got to build them up a little bit for the tag team title match. I'm all for them picking up a win. Natalya and Shotzi, they are what they are at this point. Shotzi did get her tank entrance this week at least, so that's something. If it was Vince, I feel like she wouldn't have even gotten an entrance. And they got in some offense, not a lot. Pretty basic match here. They went for the heart attack, but Raquel intercepted, and then Liv Morgan hit the Oblivion and got the 1-2-3 victory. And again, regarding Ronda Rousey, she was apparently not 100% for WrestleMania. Like, she barely did anything. I think they're just keeping her off TV right now until she's 100% recovered. And, save her for the pay-per-view. I don't think she's going to be challenging for the tag team titles on a random SmackDown or Raw. Probably saving her for Backlash, or maybe even King and Queen of the Ring. We had a backstage segment with Madcap Moss and Xavier Woods playing a video game. LA Knight interrupted, and he vented about not getting his WrestleMania moment and how Xavier Woods got to make an appearance on WrestleMania by playing video games. Xavier said that he created his own solution. And he said that since LA Knight wanted a piece of him, He beat LA Knight a few weeks ago, and he said he'll do it again. And we did get a confirmation that there will be a match next week, LA Knight one-on-one with Xavier Woods. Triple H cut a promo, came to the ring, and it started off basically being the same promo as Monday. By the way, Michael Cole referred to Triple H as one of the all-time greats and, quote, now running this place. Feel like that was purposely said to make it clear to everybody that Triple H is in charge, or at least we're supposed to believe that. Now, Triple H, once again, talked about WrestleMania, how it broke every single record in the company, including 1 billion digital views. But that wasn't the only thing he was there to talk about. He said that WrestleMania is now behind them and it's time to look to the future. This is the promo I thought he was going to cut on Raw, by the way. He did confirm that the draft is coming. We all were wondering, would the draft be happening after WrestleMania, which makes sense. You know, it's the start of a new season after WrestleMania, create some fresh feuds and such. So it is coming fairly soon. He said a couple of weeks. There is a report that it will be in early May 8th, which is the Raw after Backlash. So that's closer to a month, but, you know, gives us some time to discuss it and debate and speculate about possible draft picks and changes to the roster. According to Triple H, every single superstar will be eligible to be drafted to the same brand or a different brand. He said the draft will change the game. Looking forward to it. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're doing it after WrestleMania. It's been a while, and hopefully after WrestleMania, they keep these people on their specific brands for a while. I suspect over the next month, it's just going to be anybody appears on any show. But yeah, looking forward to some of the draft changes, and that should be coming up here early May from what the report is stating. Let's see here. What else we got? All right. We had Triple H introduce Rhea Ripley and Judgment Day. They came to the ring, and Rhea Ripley was getting a lot of cheers, by the way. She was talking about how she did the impossible. She dethroned Charlotte, told everybody to rise for her, rise for mommy, and everybody did. They were cheering. They love Rhea Ripley. Finn Balor talked for a bit, said that he had 14 stitches from Hell in a Cell, but Edge is nowhere to be found, and Finn Balor, is still standing. And then Dominik got on the mic, and wow, like this was Elias ripping the Seahawks in Seattle, or was it the Seahawks or whatever sports team he ripped? Somebody remind me. That Elias promo in Seattle might have been the Supersonics. Like this is the most heat I heard from anybody on a WWE broadcast. It was the Sonics. Thank you for that, Michael. The most heat I've heard on a WWE broadcast since that Elias promo. Like it was insane. Dominik would start talking and the place just erupted in boos. MJF, Roman Reigns, you guys got some competition here in 2023. Dominik is just on a roll right now. Like the guy, he has shown so much progress since turning heel, and I feel like his confidence just keeps getting better and better with each passing show. I'm loving it. Dominik is doing great stuff right now. And he talked about how he had to pull his punches because he loves his father and he could not hurt him, and saw anger in his father's eyes. And because of that, he said that Rey and the rest of the family can go to hell. And he also said that they could take Bad Bunny and his little friends with him. Love it. Dominik, he is doing some fantastic heel work right now. And then you had Damian Priest talk a little bit, and Damian said that he forgives Bad Bunny for what he had to do to Bad Bunny on Monday Night Raw. Love this promo. Everybody did a great job. Judgment Day is just a wonderful faction. They're doing some great promos, and the matches are entertaining. Like, everybody has been elevated. Like, when the group first started, we're like, well, are they just throwing these guys together because they got nothing else to do with them? And that was possibly true. But man, all four of these individuals have grown with this group and have been elevated. So Judgment Day is going down as one of the better WWE factions in recent history for sure. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. Hamp says, I told you all WWE would go out of business and you didn't believe me. Now they have been future endeavored. See, WWE must have known all this time that Endeavor was going to buy the company. And that's why they always used the term best of luck in your future endeavors. It was a little hint. It was under our noses the entire time. How did we not know? All right, moving on here. We had a match. Rey Mysterio and Legado del Fantasma / the LWO came out there, and we had a tag team match, playa. Rey and Santos Escobar versus Judgment Day, Dominik and Damian Priest. And that's another interesting point. Will Judgment Day get drafted separately, or will they go together to SmackDown? At first, I thought maybe Rhea Ripley would go off on her own, but I feel like you have to keep them together. They are red hot right now. Everyone in that group, I would be surprised if they broke up. Like, I guess Rhea could go off on her own still, but I feel there's still mileage to get out of this. And certainly you can't break up the LWO. But we'll talk about this, I'm sure, coming up in the next few weeks on the No DQ review and such. Another really good match here, very entertaining stuff. Dominik immediately tagged out, and Michael Cole was just furious about this, that Dominik would not get in there and fight after trash talking earlier. Michael Cole, great commentary tonight. Then, of course, Dominik tagged in after Damian Priest did some damage to Rey. Eventually, Santos Escobar tagged in. Rey and Santos hit some dives. And then after the commercial break, Damian Priest worked over Escobar. Rey got a hot tag, went for the 619 on Dominik. Rhea Ripley saved Dominik, but then Zelina Vega came in with a Hurricane Rana to Rhea. Rhea chased away Zelina. I wonder if we're going to get a match with them in Puerto Rico. That would be a big match for Zelina. 619 to Dominik, but the problem was that Damian Priest was the legal man, and Damian Priest hit the South of Heaven and got the 1-2-3 victory over Santos. Loved this. These guys are killing it right now. We had a little video. Shinsuke Nakamura is coming back on next week's SmackDown. It's about time. Looking forward to his return. That was reported that WWE would be bringing him back after WrestleMania. I still miss Nakamura and Boogs, though, but we'll see what they do with Nakamura. Hey, he could get drafted to Raw and we get the reunion. There you go. Or maybe Boogs gets drafted back to SmackDown. We had our main event, Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso, but before the match, we had Sami Zayn talking to Jey backstage, once again telling Jey that there's still a way out. And Sami brought up how Jimmy's not there, Roman Reigns is mad at Jey, and Solo looks like he's ready to drop the hammer on Jey. Then all of a sudden, we heard a loud sound, and Sami Zayn ran off, and we found out that Kevin Owens had been attacked by somebody. A production crate dropped on his leg. Paul Heyman was standing there suspiciously, looking very sus in the background. And Sami Zayn spoke to Kayla before the match and said that KO was right. The Bloodline, they're more dangerous than they ever were before. We had our match, our main event, and Sami Zayn tried to tell Jey that the Bloodline is crumbling. Jey pie-faced Sami. Match went back and forth for a bit. And as Sami Zayn got the upper hand, Solo Sikoa showed up at ringside. The plot thickened. Jey started trash talking after he caught Sami Zayn off the top with a super kick. And then Zayn started to make a comeback, exploder in the corner. Jey avoided the haluva kick, but then Sami hit the Blue Thunder Bomb and got the 1-2-3 victory. No, he didn't. You guys know it didn't happen. Of course, Jey kicked out of it. And then Solo Sikoa got involved. Referee was distracted. Solo, with the Samoan spike, took down Sami Zayn, and it was elementary there. Jey Uso getting the easy 1-2-3 victory. And after the match, the attack continued, and Solo went for the Samoan spike, but Jey stopped him. So we got more of a tease that they might split up. But then Jey super kicked Sami and told Solo to go get the steel chair. They were going to finish off Sami Zayn, but then Matt Riddle made the save. Matt Riddle ran down and took out Solo, took out Jey to close the show. Now, some people are like, well, what's Vince's boy Matt Riddle doing there? Keep in mind, Solo Sikoa was the one that put Matt Riddle on the shelf. Matt Riddle was injured by Solo. And I was thinking to myself as this beatdown was happening, KO's hurt. I mean, Matt Riddle should be out there to get payback on Solo Sikoa. That's what I was thinking in my mind. So to me, it made perfect sense for Matt Riddle to be out there and get his hands on Solo Sikoa. And I would suspect that they'll do a match at some point, maybe at Backlash. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. Says, Riddle went from suspension to rehab to now being inserted into the hottest storyline. Is main event Matt coming? I say change his character, though. Well, Matt is still, a great wrestler, and he sells merchandise. Some people soured on him because of the stuff in his personal life, but he was involved with the Bloodline storyline, and it would make sense for him to be aligned with KO and Sami Zayn. All in all, this was a great SmackDown. They really stepped it up from Raw. Now, was this because of the negative feedback? They felt like we really got to hit a home run with this show. Was Vince like, okay, fine, Hunter, go do your thing, but I'm coming back. Don't get too comfortable running the show. Like, what's the real deal here? I guess we're just going to have to take it week by week and see how this all progresses. But at least for this show, there's a glimmer of hope that this was the WWE that fans have gotten to love over the past 7-8 months since Vince left. I mean, this was a fantastic SmackDown. I definitely recommend it. I give the show an A. I thought it was the best show of the week. I mean, Dynamite was very good, but this was a great show. Huge improvement from Monday. And I didn't even hate Raw. Like I gave it a B-, which is a lot higher than most of the internet. But I still think that this was a significant improvement. And this is the kind of show people want to see on a weekly basis. So hopefully they keep it up. Show flowed very well. And they built up next week, set up the draft. Very few complaints. Like, really, I thought the women's match, it served its purpose, but it was maybe the only weak spot of the show. Everything else I thought was really solid. So excellent Raw, or SmackDown, definitely not Raw. Excellent SmackDown, and we'll see what happens next week. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Much appreciation to everybody out there in the No DQ galaxy. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com this weekend for the latest news. We will be back with the No DQ review on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, our usual time slot. So tune in on Sunday night for that. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.